concerned?
I think it looks good. Its light is perfect.
Okay,
So,
okay.
and I'm also like recording here now. Started recording with me.
Only this, please ask, please you and the speaker, please ask that the mic
I
should
think
be near to you and little louder, because
Yes,
sometimes the Zoom, the voice speaking is not come so well. So
that's
please
great.
be careful about that.
Good, good. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, just a little louder if you will be, so that will be much better for all of us.
Yeah, my speech is otherwise my voice is little louder only. I'm talking, and but once I come to it in the flow, it is louder only. Yeah.
I understand completely from you.
so.
Grateful, sir. Thank you. Thanks a
Should
lot.
we go?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So good morning, everyone, and good afternoon, perhaps for Indian people. Like we have a good afternoon. For me, also noon. So good afternoon and good morning or good evening, wherever you are located. My name is Rajiv Kumar, and I'll be hosting this session on the medical issues. And this is my first time that I'm hosting a real doctor, medical doctor. I have been hosting professors and doctors, but in humanities and social sciences. So let me give a brief introduction of Dr. Bansal. His name is full name is Suresh Kumar Bansal, Dr. Suresh Kumar Bansal, and he is an experienced neurologist, internal medicine, and general physician with over 52 years of practices in this field. He is based in India right now and working there. Dr. Bansal has associated with many organizations, and he has been associate professor at PGIMER since 1985, and then he got retired perhaps. He has been a member of many organizations, many associations, and one of the associations I will include a few associations where he has been member of the Neurology Society of India, Indian Academy of Neurology, Indian Medical Association, Indian Epilepsy Association, life member of ISKCON, founder of life member of Indian Academy of Neurology. And he, as a physician, Dr. Bansal offers a wide range of services, including stroke treatment, headache management, spine disorder, nerve and muscles disorder, and Parkinson's disease treatment, and many more. So we are very honored that we have Dr. Bansal here, and we will hear from him on the topic of on the brain and mind, the dynamic of the brain and mind, and how to find the balance, between them. So without any further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Bansal on floor. So floor is yours, doctor.
Oh, great. Thank you, Rajiv. And good day, everyone who's listening me. And I hope that I'm audible. In case there is any problem, please do let me know. See, the subject matter is very interesting. It, of course, touches my specialty, wherein I have a large experience, but at the same time, it is one of my passion also, as far as the mind is concerned. So, of course, the brain is my cup of tea for the last 52 years. So the topic concerns about the intricacies, knowing the dynamics of brain and mind, and the purpose of living, and where we can, or in which way we can find the good balance between the life and the work. Because this is one of the important goal as far as the present day lifestyle is concerned. So let me tell you, it's more like a giant knot. It's not one knot, but there are many knots. As far as this subject matter is concerned, most of the time, most of us, we are in the physical looking, or physical doing, or appreciating more about the body rather than its back end real good sport. Because the function, as far as the muscles are concerned, myology, 30% of our body weight is under the domain of the brain only. Of course, to a little extent under the mind, but the brain ultimately takes all the perceptions and ultimately takes some sort of processing and conceptualize the things, prioritize the things, makes some sort of codes, and ultimately the execution is done through the various aspects, and especially in the human beings, wherein the brain is very nicely developed. So I'll touch the various aspects one by one. Of course, the topic can be talked endlessly, but I'd like to be with you guys for about 30 to 35 minutes. Hope so in this period I will cover it, and I will be loving to have your suggestions or some questions answered, or share my little knowledge with you all, with your experience. So let me first of all start about the brain. So to begin, before I tell you really something about the real brain in the living human, let's talk of the brain when it starts forming, something like in the womb of the mother by 5 to 6 months of pregnancy or gestation. That's the time when the brain is formed. So actually, as far as the brain is concerned, this is as compared to the body, total body, human body, it's only 3% of the total body, and it is supposed to be very small. Even at the time of birth, it's 700 grams. So you can foresee or conceptualize that by 5 to 6 months of gestation in the womb of the mother, when the fetus is something like 1 kg or 1.2 kg, how small the brain will be. But at the same time, there comes in the function of the brain, not only in the form of motor activity, when the child can start kicking as far as the pregnancy is concerned, or during the second trimester or the end of the second trimester of pregnancy, as well as there is a formation of mind also. I'll come to it, what is the difference between the mind and brain. So all these things happen under the domain of some sort of genetic codes, genomes. And along with this, there comes number of things, because there is some sort of genetic predisposition, both as well as the function of the brain, or the formation of the brain, or the formation of that of the mind, and ultimately the function of mind, or the interaction of the brain and mind. So what are the other things which almost comes along with some sort of genetic predisposition as far as the brain and mind is concerned are personality, aptitude, and then there is a cognitive functions, cognitive function, I'll just tell you about that, and the likings and desires. Over and above the needs, see, there are basic needs that has to be as far as our survival mode is concerned. But I must tell you about cognition and cognition. These are the two important things. So one is, as far as the brain is concerned, this takes care of both the things, cognition and cognition. But cognition is basically A, consciousness, B, memory, C, intellect, and D, orientation. Over and above insight, what are we, who are we, where are we? So that will follow the consciousness, and that's what is known as awareness. I'll touch that also, but before that, I'll tell you what is cognition. Now you can say the brain is cognition and the mind is cognition. So the mind is when there are feelings, and feelings putting all together, different type of feelings, hundreds of thousands and millions, just like the thought process. Thought is basically starts with the cognition of the brain. As far as the cognition is concerned, this is what is the mind is, where there are emotions, feelings, there is a thought process, and there is behavioral components. So once all these things come in, then we need to somehow one ultimately wonders what all this is happening as far as the living and non-living is concerned. We are talking of the livings only right now, but we need to consider about the non-livings also. But what is a living things means? When there is some sort of movement, some sort of consciousness, some sort of growth, that's what we say that there is a movement. And that is possibly put in by the consciousness. And we can say the soul also. So the soul or the consciousness, from where it comes, where it lies, where it goes, it is still an ambiguity. There is a lot of theorem, lot of conceptualization, and lot of discrepancy subject to some sort of evidence, where somebody will claim that this is where it is, and somebody will say, no, there are some counterclaims also. But I will say, to begin with, that this is possibly, I will say the universal consciousness is one. The whole universe, I will say even multiverse. The universe is what we can see. what our eyes can show us with the help of the sun, maybe only the 4% of the universe. That is the capacity of the sun or our eyes. That is what is written or said by those persons who are sitting on the helm of affairs. So as far as the consciousness is concerned, there is some sort of neural correlates. We know it as after the brain injuries, there are certain part of the brain where there is injury and the person becomes just like a vegetable. That it means there is no consciousness, but there is consciousness, because as far as the heart functions, as far as the lung functions, as far as the oxygen generation, as far as the body internal total system known as homeostasis, that works. So the person is conscious, but at the same time is unconscious, but just like vegetable. There is nothing as far as the speech is concerned, conversation is concerned, awareness is concerned, talking is concerned, or showing any sort of emotions, or so many other reflexes. So does it mean the consciousness lies in the brain, some part of the brain? That's what is also known as reticular activating system. You can say switch on, switch off, when once one is awake or one is sleeping. So that is the area of the upper part of the brainstem where lies the reticular activating system and where possibly lies consciousness. But this is not the whole of it. So there are people who feel that there is not only that particular area, but there is a total sum. This is not only the internal body or the mind or the internal value as far as our internal engineering or undercurrents are concerned, but this is the outer area also as far as the word goes, because we are conscious or we are having ego or we are having so many other things by virtue of our evolution, interaction with the outside world. Alone person, sometimes I ask my patients that if you are alone and if you are made in charge of this whole world, will you be okay? Possibly no, because his name, fame, identity, ego is not going to matter anymore. And even if by virtue of cloning, I give the same person like another, let's say 1,000%, like same thought, same smile, same emotion, will it be okay? No. So we want diversity and relativity. And where we get consciousness, or that is what is also known as emerging theory by some of them. There is a different type of concept as far as religion is concerned, some spiritual concept. But I must say, as far as the consciousness is concerned, this has to be associated by the various things. Maybe our internal self or our external self. Unless we are, association is a different type. There can be relationship, there can be observation, there can be give and take. So what I want to say, association is one of the very important things. And same holds true in the brain also. Because unless there has to be, because right now I'm speaking to you at the same time, I'm doing some sort of body language also. So it means that inside the brain also, there is an area where the speech is being formed. And it's being programmed, expressed, and there is by virtue of some verbal language, and as well as the physical expression also. So there is an association. There is an association everywhere as far as the brain inside is concerned. The different type of areas, as far as the vision is concerned, hearing is concerned, as far as our taste is concerned, as far as our emotions are concerned, as far as our fear is concerned, appetite, sex, and all those things are satiety of ego is concerned. So everything is lying over there in the different area of the brain, and they are associated with each other. Now I come to the next stage. From the consciousness, there comes, you can say that's a sort of substratum. It's more like a very good manured earth on which there is a different type of plants. So there one plant are brooding of different things which comes out of consciousnesses. One is primitive memory. Though memory, I will say, though it has been defined in a number of times, and there are a good number of types of memory as well as neurology or psychology or psychiatry is concerned. But I will say there is a primary memory, or you can say primitive memory, with which the baby or the fetus comes out in this world. And then no, there are some sort of reflexes which is written on the white paper. Only few reflexes, maybe sucking reflexes, crawling reflexes, or maybe the smell also is there. That's why the child crawls toward the breast, and sucking reflex also. That's why the child is able to suck the milk. Next come, as far as the another plant important, apart from the primitive memory, is awareness. Now awareness, in a way, even as far as the consciousness is concerned, in neurology, we teach our students awareness, consciousness is awareness of self and surrounding. But is this definition okay? It's not possible, because in sleep, we are not awareness of self and surrounding. but still we are aware. There are, because we are forming memory in the form of dreams. And even if we are not, we are in deep sleep, still we are aware, because after getting up from the deep sleep, we feel, we really enjoyed the good sleep. So it means we are still aware of that thing. So we are aware of self, we are aware of surrounding, living, non-living, but there are other things. Another important thing is the awareness of something to which we are not aware. So that is undercurrents. Because I'll come to it as far as our subconscious mind is concerned, because ultimately our body is nothing but a chemical composition, and there is a working as far as the body is concerned of different parts by generating small amount of electrical potentials. So there are potentials, unless it becomes of significance, that may not be evident. So there are undercurrents, which is small electrical potential, which keeps on running inside the brain without our awareness or memory. And once there is small plants formed by the memory and awareness, then comes the very important thing, thoughts, feelings. So these thoughts and feelings are wrapped in awareness and orientation also. And then they work, good or bad, to be taken or not to be taken, under the domain of or the guidance of intellect. Because I said it, as far as the intellect is concerned, this is also one of the primary function of that, of the consciousness or the brain. But intelligence, I'll come to, intellect to intelligence to wisdom. So these are the various steps. So the intellect is brain, intelligence is mind. So I'll come to that. So let me tell you something which I already highlighted about the neural correlates as far as the brain and mind is concerned. I said it, the brain is somehow 700 grams at the time of birth. The maximum growth spurts in initial 5 years. It becomes around 1400 grams, almost double. And then there is some sort of insulation, because the brain, when we come over here, that may be taking in the data as far as the brain and mind is concerned. But we are not aware till, let's say, 1.5 to 2 years of age. All of us, we do not know about that. We have interacted, we were in the lap of our parents, or we were giggling with them, laughing, or we were eating, we were demanding food also, but we are not aware of those 2 years as far as our initial. So awareness is one of the important things. Because of awareness only, we proceed ahead as far as our knowingness is concerned or the comprehension is concerned. As far as the brain is concerned, there are 1 trillion brain cells, and they are assigned different type of brain cells. I'll not like to go in detail of that cell, but I must say that each cell is having 0.1 million connection. So something like 200 trillion connections as far as the brain cell is concerned. And then one of the very important thing is they are having different type of roots. And the beauty is, just like I'll say that there is air traffic and there is a traffic on, then the speed allowed is 40 kilometers, or somewhere it's allowed 80 kilometers. So likewise, there are different routes as far as the brain connections are concerned. Somewhere it goes at 40 speed. I'm just giving you an example. And on the other side, it goes faster, it's 60 or 80. So there is speed is different. And then there is at one time when I did my postdoctoral degree, 30 years before, we were saying brain cell dead means permanently dead. No, it's not like that. Now we conceptualize with the advancement in the neuroradiology, particularly functional MRI or maybe positron emission tomogram, that there are some cells which is lying dormant inside the brain, and they can also be put into action. So that is what is known as secondary neurogenesis. Neurogenesis means formation of the new brain cells. So that can occur even at 30, 40, 50 years of age. So this is something of great. And another important thing is the dynamism as far as the brain is concerned. Right now, I'm talking to you, my brain, as well as your brain. You are listening to me. At the same time, your own brain is also conceptualizing, raising some sort of question, having some sort of comprehension to certain things, and something you are not comprehending by virtue of your knowledge or maybe interest thing. So brain is dynamic in you and me in nanoseconds. There are connections, what is known as neuronal plasticity, which comes and goes. They are something like hundreds of thousands. So you can conceptualize hundreds and thousands type of connections in nanoseconds. They keep on forming and keep on varying depending upon my telling to you, your external environment, your concept about the language learning, and it's proceeding the way I'm speaking to you. So in the way your interest is, your attention concentration is. So that was something about neural correlation as far as the working is concerned. I'll come to brain and mind. Now, what is the difference? Somehow I have seen in even the Google also, in 80% of the situation, once you put into the search engine, they will interchange the things, brain and mind. Brain, somewhere the brain is noted as mind or mind as brain, but they are not same. Surely not same. To put it very simple is, brain is king and mind is prime minister. And the prime minister make its own army. So it makes its infantry, air force, sea force, and other things. Or in the other way, certain people has even simulated this to a super biological computer, where the hard disk is brain, CPU is something like a part of the function of CPU, as far as this analogy is concerned, is mind. Software is surely mind. Application is surely mind. So you can say king, prime minister, similarity, or you can take a computer, supercomputer, biological supercomputer, and it has been said, it was taught to us something like 40 years before, that in case we want to really study each and every connection of that the brain, we need to have the whole of the country like Sweden, and we have to make 10-story building to explore the brain. You can say the one human brain is in that much capacity compared to maybe hundreds of thousands of the computers, irrespective of terabyte, tetrabyte, or anything whatsoever. So I must say, before I go into detail, that brain is such a thing where we can definitely say, and it has been said, use it or lose it. Even in Alzheimer's disease, in old age, or even in routine 30 years, 40 years age, 50 years of age, any age, and particularly so in the aging process when we are losing our brain cells. Now I'm coming to the mind. So mind is surely a nice thing. Of course, it means the brain is not, whole of it is not mine. Good amount of brain is mine, but the king is number of things to be done. It needs to take care of, as far as our appetite is concerned, our desire is concerned, our needs are concerned, our motor activity is concerned, our perception is concerned, irrespective whether this is the special senses, eyes, ears, then smell or taste, or irrespective whether it is a touch, pain, temperature, hot, cold, vibration, joint position sense. So all these things balance. Then, because we are upright animal, we have to keep the center of gravity, not like other animals, 4 legs. So maybe the God has given us the 2 hands, 2 legs of that of the animals has been made 2 hands, and the human hands are one of the very, very important things. As far as this is a wonderful thing, and this all thing is of course maybe mind or brain, but it's executed ultimately by the human hand. The whole earth has been nicely decorated. Earth, I will say, in nature itself is such a wonderful, it's decorated in its of its own, keeps on changing minute to minute. But at the same time, human hands have made it to their own sweet will, what they wanted to be, to their choice. So I said, as far as the mind is concerned and the brain is concerned, what is the difference? But before that, I will also say that there is, in the womb of the mother only, when I said it earlier also, the subconscious mind, you see, the mind is defined into different. There is a conscious mind, which is more of related with the brain. There is subconscious mind, because the mind is further divided into various things: subconscious mind, unconscious mind, right? And as far as I said it, so the awareness is concerned, this comes by around 2 years of age. As and when the brain size increases, there is an insulation of all those circuits. Then there is a more maturation as far as the memory is concerned. Memory begets more memory, and all this mind start working in a more interactive way. There comes the social interaction. After we take birth, we are taken care of by a lot of love and affection by our parents. So there is the social interaction starts from the very beginning, and then there is a development of the relationship, and then we learn so many things. The consciousness and unconscious mind, they do work together. I'll tell you further in case somebody is interested in knowing in which way they work. But then there's the development of what is known as id, ego, and superego. So this was defined by the father of psychology, Freud. So basically, it is It says more like all of us, we are having it. It means more like a child desire. Because child desires so many things. We also will say sometime to maybe our beloved girlfriend, yeah, I will bring stars from the sky. So we are more like a dreaming stage. So this is not reality. So, but if we keep on having some sort of desire, some sort of aspiration, needs, greeds, lust, and whatnot, as far as the id is concerned. But as far as the ego is concerned, I'll come to later. But before that, I'll say what is superego. So it is lying into the subconscious mind. As far as the ego is concerned, that lies in the conscious mind. Superego. Sorry, superego. Superego is more like intelligence. Suppose if it is a child will like to say, okay, I am going to catch the fire. The superego will say, no, 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 this is going to burn you. The child ego will say, okay, let me grip the fire. But at the same time, superego is not going to allow that. So that is by virtue of the intellect or intelligence. And the ego is basically identity. The ego is, we say it is a man-made ego. If there is none one else around me, where is the ego? So the ego lies in our name, fame, and acquisitions, and so many other things, our position. We don't come with any tag and anything as far as this word is concerned. When we go also, we don't take anything. So during this short stay of 70 Earth year, I'm not talking of Saturn year, I'm not talking of galaxy years. So the ego plays a pivotal role, and this forms our identity. So what happens? Where the identity? So identity is relativity. So I'm very handsome, I'm beautiful, I have more money, I'm having more status, means identification. It means there comes a comparison. So once there is a comparison, simultaneously this comparison is defined by the time the intellect from that of the conscious mind or the brain is by virtue of experience and observation is converted into intelligence also. Intellect continues to work, but the intelligence is and the knowledge. Knowledge and means intelligence and intellect put into work. So the knowledge also comes, and now this comparison with knowledge gets into relationships, behavior, and in the process of identity, we get into jealousy because we have everything, but still maybe the other person is a little better identified than us. So despite of having everything, we are still jealous as far as somebody's accreditation, acquisition, name, fame is concerned. And in that process, the identity along with ego, that gets to fear, some sort of fear of name, fear of not having money, not having the food, not taking care of the children. As far as I just discussed about the natural calamity which has affected Turkey, very sad state of affair, and I really felt it. So all those things come in. So there is anxiety, there is anger, and you see most of the time, without understanding what is mind, what is brain, and what is the force behind all these things, consciousness, we get into rat race. Now this rat race is, despite of the thing being as far as the root value is concerned by the brain and mind, this is related with our physical doing. As far as our needs, most of the time gets into greeds most of the time gets into lust. And you see, as far as all these things, aspiration and achievement. So usually there is a gap between the aspiration and achievement. Now the gap between the aspiration and achievement parallels the quantum of frustration. So somehow what happens, even if there is aspiration and achievement is there, and the gap becomes zero, the aspiration sets high. So the gap between the aspiration and achievement continues, and there continues some sort of deficiency. So then there is a problem comes. We don't understand our worth. Somebody may be tall, somebody may be having a muscular body, or somebody is very, very intellectual. A person may be having a IQ intelligence quotient of about 80, another can have 120. Maybe Albert Einstein had 150. So likewise, the intellect varies. We should be in actualization. We cannot say an apple that this is a doll. Obviously not, because the truth is subject to some sort of evidences. Of course, the truth is relative, evidence is relative. There are some writers everywhere. But still, by and large, those things which is perceived and accepted by one and all will be a worldly truth, you can say, or universal truth, or the truth by the majority of the person. One must, before having this sort of rat race, must feel what are my weaknesses, what is my strength, what are my values, in which way I perceive the things, in which way I interact with other things. Do I believe in let and live and let live? Do I believe in let go? Most of the people do not want to get into the boundaries. All of us, we are having boundaries. Everyone is having boundaries. You say any person, whosoever is, maybe the president of America, supposed to be one of the very strong person, he's also having some sort of boundaries. So all of us, we must feel that we should be respecting our boundaries, as well as we should redefine our boundaries rather than getting into the rat race. And obviously, in case we are, then there is going to be fear, there is going to be anxiety, there is going to be anger. We start having problem as far as our survival is concerned. There is a lot of adrenaline rush, neurohormones go jeopardized. And I must tell you, dopamine, which is a good hormone, it's a peaceful hormone. It's a counteract of that of the adrenaline, noradrenaline. But the quantum of adrenaline and noradrenaline and its half-life, as far as the body is concerned, is for about 6 to 8 hours. But the dopamine is only for half an hour. So it means, in case you are, am I audible? I'm sorry. Hello? Hello? Hello?
You are audible. Yeah, we can hear
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very much. Thanks. So I was coming to, as far as the adrenaline rush is concerned, this can be counteracted by dopamine, but the dopamine half-life is small. So we should be rather in actualization, and we should not get into that race. And because the right thing, as I said, is right. Of course, the eagle and pigeon, suppose the pigeon wants to fly as high as eagle, it's not possible. So that's why all these things, ultimately, one person leads to the formation of the personality, different type of personality. We know it. There is introvert, extrovert, there is a paranoid personality, cyclothymic personality, bipolar personality. Somebody is interested, I'll go into detail of that. And this forms our habits and beliefs. This belief and habit is one of the very important things. This is the belief system which ultimately carries we into the rat race without understanding our real self, without understanding the goal of life. But of course, this is one of the important factors where we live in. And then comes, after the beliefs, different type of attitude. Now, attitude, and I said earlier, aptitude. Now, the aptitude is inculcated in the internal way, or in genes, by genes. And the attitude is what we ultimately, the person see that his attitude is not good, he's not a fair person, he tells lies, that he doesn't take the thing the right perspective. So that is a sort of attitude. So attitude, personality, and experience and behavior all jumbled together, they form mindset. So you can say mentality also, or you can say perspective also. So mindset, mentality, and perspective, this is one of the very important things. And where lies all of us initiative, our drive, our confidence, our education, our fear factor, our stress buster, because all of us, we must have stress buster. We must know the various methodologies. First of all, we must have, just like the bank account, we must have something as far as our doing is concerned, as far as our own perception is concerned, or our efforts are concerned, or our mindfulness is concerned, that these are the ways where, as and when there is some sort of calamity, I would like to reduce it as much as possible, because I'm having something to take care. And there are certain methods also as far as that thing is concerned. Now, there comes out as far as the fixing of the mindset is concerned. You see, we all of us, we want work-life balance. And there are different type of assignments offered to different type of calibers, skills. And I will say the person, for example, and it depends upon the personality also. I do say that if a person who is having hostility and a very small stimulus is needed to make that person angry, or more like an angry bird, and that person becomes a doctor, not good. So contrarily, if a person who is docile and who is having a lot of empathy, and he becomes a law enforcement agency, a policeman, obviously it's not. So both the way, we have to have number of things to account for as far as the finding the balance is concerned. But at the same time, I will tell you some in the layman language. in which way we can go as far as our balancing the thing is concerned. Let me cite you example, because I'm a doctor, so I'm citing you an example of the medicines. You see, the medicines or medical therapy, it's by 4 virtues. 1, on-desk medicines available. 2, when we go to the doctor, internist, and we find tailor-made job. 3, there is microsurgery. Microsurgery means small surgery is required, and the person becomes fine. And the last one is, the 4th type is the major surgery. So I'll say the self-help desk is, this is your sweet way, in which way you want to get solace, joy, happiness, not transient happiness. It's a journey, ever sustained happiness. That is joy. Enjoy takes the help of the joy. So we need not to take the help of the good food or anything, or a good sight, so, or good sex. So that is enjoy. So be in joy. So next to higher to joy is the bliss. And then there is a divinity, of course. So this first virtue, self-help like medication, is your own good choice. You can opt some sort of methodology of your own. You can join a group, you can join an NGO, you can join a society, you can join some religion, or you can join your own philosophy, which will give you some happiness, solace, and ultimately what you desire to make the best balance. But this is your own. This can be good also. I cannot say that this is of no meaning. A person who is having a lot of pain, abdomen, is having something which has been addressed by on-desk medicine available in the shape of a painkiller, is good enough. So likewise, in even self-help, or your own liking, dislikings for particular thing can be fruitful, and it may not be fruitful, because most of the time this sort of situation is not practiced. This needs practice and uniformity over a long period of time, as far as the self-help is concerned. Next comes the individual mindset, because we all of us are individual. Even I must tell you, there are twins. They behave in a different way as far as the mind and brain is concerned. I will say up to the extent of uniovular, because as far as the mother is concerned, one ovum, and as far as the father is concerned, so many spermatozoa. If there one ovum is divided into 2, and then 2 spermatozoa, it means from a single ovum, if there is a twins, they also behave differently as far as the IQ is concerned, or intelligence quotient, or the behavior quotient, as far as the social quotient, emotional quotient is concerned. They're all different. So that's why we need to be addressed as far as the balancing thing is concerned, individualistically, in an individual way. So that's where we need to go to the doctor, internist, or a family physician, where we can find that individually, depending upon somebody's weakness, hard points, liking, dislikings, and different quantum of intellect or intelligence, there can be various things. Which is, for example, I will say, no, you see, there are, unfortunately, in the developed country, we don't have a separate curriculum for those who are having low intelligence. Let's say intelligence of 70, 60, 50, 40, or 30, who are totally like idiots. They are totally dependent upon the parents. We don't have different type of curriculum. And in the developed countries, yes, because ultimately, what do we want out of our life? We should be independent, we should be interactive, and we should make sense as far as our presence is concerned in the society, in the family, in the friend sphere, in the social sphere, to make the things meaningful and enjoy the worth which has been provided to us by the mother nature, and which keeps on changing. So there is more and more allurement, there are more and more, as for example, telecommunication, the way we are talking, there will be much more in the coming time. So we are enjoying it. So, but we are in search of not 4G, but 5G, maybe more than that. So our look into it, our aspiration, our desires, they keep on changing, rather more and more. This is actually inhabitant, it's a intuitive nature of that of the human being. And there comes the microsurgery, like laparoscopy, like laser treatment, and other things. See over here, you can, this is just like yoga. So what is yoga? Yoga means a connection. So you can say a drop of water in the ocean is yoga. I put a drop of water having the same property and characteristics in the ocean, having same property and characteristics. So this is the union. So at the same time, I say the soul with the universal soul. So that is yoga. So this is the union of the small quantum to the big quantum. So that is the meaning of yoga. So in case you want more like a microsurgical thing, but yoga, you see, yoga is not physical activity. So yoga is having different types. There are having 8 types. There is a full spiritual books as far as the yoga is concerned. And there are various steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as far as the mental yoga is concerned. Ultimately, to win ourselves, our desires, our aspirations, the whole control. See, this has been found. This has been, as far as the Buddhist monks are concerned, in Tibet, this has been defined in the laboratory in the Boston University. Because within 3 minutes, by virtue of their internal engineering and self-control with the help of yoga, they can make a wet, this small piece of cloth around the body totally dry within 3 minutes. So this is the self-control as far as the yoga is concerned. This is very helpful. And the last part is a time taking. It needs a lot of practice. So it's a long route. And the shortest route, quickest route, and the permanent route is surgery. And what is surgery? Is meditation. So I have told you, as far as the work balance is concerned, mindset is concerned, I will elaborate in case somebody is interested. And this is the yoga and meditation, which is ultimately, and I will tell you, just add to this. See, one of the person who was speaking on the YouTube about the psychopaths, basically the LSD. So he said that I wanted to have experience on LSD. So what he did, he said he was not otherwise an addict. He happened to be a social this neuroscientist. So he took the small dose of LSD. That didn't work. He took another small dose after half an hour. That worked. So for 4 hours, he was knocked off. He was totally, as far as conscious mind was concerned, it was knocked off. So there was an experience of 1 hour wherein he was talking with the leaves. He was talking with the fish in the fish tank. He was enjoying life like anything. Because that is the basic inherent characteristics of our human body, maybe animals, maybe non-living. I don't know. We can't conceptualize it. We don't know whether they non-living they talk or not. In case we are going to talk about the energy and this matter, again, I can speak a lot about this thing, but I think that there will be surely time constraints. But what I want to say, ultimately, the things can work out in a definitely much better way, taking one and each step. It's nothing like that we cannot change our personality. Gone are the days when we were thinking the personality cannot be changed after 20 years of age. We cannot change our mindset. We can change with the help of number of things in the way I'm talking to you. This needs practice. This needs your interest. This needs your regularity. And maybe 5 minutes. In how many of us we are sitting with our own self? Most of the time when we are idle, in the present day, everyone is on the mobile phone. This is not so. It should not be that. So we need not to think about anything. We need to think not about the thoughts, which is more like waste thoughts. Even if we are sitting idle, because I must tell you, the human mind is having almost 2,000 thoughts in 1 hour. But how many of them they are useful? Should be made useful. Can we trace our thoughts? Yes, we can. In which way the thoughts are formed, in which way they are put into places. You see, I'll tell you thoughts and ultimately memory. And I must give you an example. As far as you will know sometime, oh, that person, the voice it appears to be a person who was my colleague or my schoolmate. Where is he? So you look around. Who told you? You're that particular one brain cell inside your brain in the auditory area or in the speech area, which made you aware about that particular memory, which was ingrained, permanently focused in that particular cell only. So you can change even those behavior. So all those things needs a lot of practice, lot of introspection, actualization, reality, your own worth, your own boundaries, your liking, dislikings, certain things, let it go. You see, I'm not saying that you become docile. I'm not saying you become aggressive. I'm saying assertive. So I'm not, at the same time, I'm not saying you don't become empathetic. It's okay, but better than empathy or sympathy, transient thing. So for example, many people will say, yeah, okay, something bad has happened in Turkey. So that is sympathy from a distance. But empathy is when we feel it. Yeah, so if I'm suffering from all these things, how I feel about that? But better than that, that may be transient, sympathy and empathy. But the more important thing is compassion. When we work on that line, we do something. I may be doing may not be negligible, but I should try to do that. And compassion is definitely better than empathy. So apathy is totally different, sympathy is totally different. So likewise, I am seeing as far as the docility and aggressiveness, they both are not good. Assertivity is good. So like in so many characters we have to develop and define from the very beginning. Because one thing I must tell you, as far as the parenting is concerned, this is one of the very challenging games. Nowadays, what is happening because of the smaller squeezing size of that of the family? What are we doing? We are making our children our friends. It's okay. I'm not saying become a friend, give a lot of breathing space to them, but you must become a good guide also. You see, important, the parenting is very important. Why? Because we say the childhood is adulthood, mother of adulthood. So in case there are a number of good things taught to the child from the very beginning, the reality, the actualization, the truthfulness, the values, the character, all those things, then finding the balance as far as the life is concerned, as the finding the balance as far as the individual emotion is concerned, that will be there. That will be easy with the virtue of the different things which I have discussed with you. So you see, for all these things, I must tell you, I've written a book. So the book is The Mind. Do you want to change? This does have, it's more like a self-help book, but in that way, it's not that simple. It just touches all the aspects which I have talked to you. So basically, they are all the ingredients which I have discussed with you, much in more detail. So you can find each and everything in much detail. You see, you are having all the ingredients. You can make a recipe of your own choice. See, somebody's taste is different, somebody's liking is different, somebody's hopes are different, somebody's gestures are different. So likewise, I will say you can dig out whatsoever you feel like from that particular book. You can make your own recipe to the best of your own mind. So that's what it is. And finally, I will say about Lord Buddha. He said it when somebody asked me, asked Lord Buddha, hey, and what should I do? You are my mentor. So in which way I should live? Which is the best way of my living? And he quoted one example. So he said that I am no one to define it. He gave an example of one string musical instrument. So he said it, in case you are going to make the string too tight, the string is going to break. And in case it's too loose, there are not going to be good rhythm. And you just make to the right choice of your own choice to make your own life in good possible way by making the string in such a stretch that it brings out beautiful vibes, beautiful rhythms, and beautiful music. And there I finish my talk, and I'll be rather privileged to listen your comments and other things, or comments, some criticism, so or some sort of clarification. That will be lovable. Yeah.
And thank you very much, Dr. Bansal. It was an amazing talk. I was wondering, like, and how I'm going to moderate your session, but it seems like that I'm in a humanities and social science, and we have been always talking about how humanities and social science and the natural science can be tuned. I mean, even including the religion can be tuned. Wonderfully, you have tuned, harmonized it in your talk today.
Yes, thank you. Thanks.
When I was listening to your talk, I was like, I recall all Bhagavad Gita.
Right.
Complete Bhagavad Gita, mind and soul, body. That I don't know how I was relating with this, the complete Bhagavad Gita, and especially about how you have scientifically described all this function of body, and then how to overcome the inferiority or the low and above. This is amazing. This is something really we need to talk more about and needed. Basically, we are living in even the the one French scholar, perhaps Rousseau, or I don't know, he said the society is becoming more developing the more societal tendency nowadays because of the complexity.
Yeah.
So the Freud, he said ego, ego and the superego. It was reminding me. I was I was able to connect with so many things that we have. with the Mandukya Upanishad about the consciousness, subconsciousness, and also with the Sankhya philosophy of Tamas, Rajas, and Sattva. It's amazing, like, it's amazing. It's amazing. I want to open the floor now to people to ask questions. There were many, so I don't want to take much time. Please, my friends, floor is open for you. You can ask. Please unmute yourself. So you can unmute yourself and ask questions directly. Lavina Parveen wanted to ask question. Lavina,
please.
Hello, can I just come in? Well, Professor Dr. Bansal, that was a very interesting talk. Thank you for giving that. While you were talking, I just found myself thinking, has the brain, the mind, have they changed over the last few centuries? I'm reading just now a book by Amitav Ghosh, The Nutmeg's Curse, looking at colonialism and what the Dutch East India Company did in Indonesia, and then how capitalism has spread throughout the world. And before it was Europeans that were very cutthroat in their destruction of the natural world and non-European peoples. But the world now is very much a capitalist world. Yeah, wherever you go, money is our main desire. So if this has been going on for what, 400 or 500 years, has our brains changed over that time? Bearing in mind that the indigenous peoples of much of the world outside of Europe, or even within Europe, have been killed off. So we've exterminated Native American people, the indigenous Europeans. So now with capitalism, the humanity now and humanity before capitalism, has the brain changed? Has the mind changed?
Right. Yeah, very nice views. And I must add to this. You see, as far as our brain composition is concerned, there are, you see, I'll give you an example before this. See, a babe was being followed or stalked by one of the person, and she was aware of that, and she was furious, and this was late evening hours, and she was little having fear also. She just wanted to respond. So this is all the brain mind in the way I'm wanting to. So she wanted to respond. She just wanted to slap the person who was stalking her, right? Just when she turned her head, she said, "Oh, my, this was his fans." You see, I'm telling you, in which way the conscious mind suddenly overtaken by the subconscious mind. Now the subconscious mind immediately said, it came to emotions. It was a adrenaline rush. It was the anger, which was immediately changed to sweet emotions, right? So there are certain type of connections as far as our brain is concerned. So two important thing is very clear, which is as far as the brain and mind is concerned. In that, one is the limbic system, which is to which you can say amygdala. Amygdala is the area which is connected with the limbic system, and another is the frontal lobe. See, as far as the human being is concerned, the biggest brain on the earth is of that of the whale, 7.5 kg. But as far as the volume, we have to see the volume and the brain size. So as far as the human brain is concerned, in that way it is big volume to the whole body. 1, 2. The frontal lobe, the neocortex, this is what is known as the new brain, is almost half of the other part of the brain. So this frontal lobe takes care of the, you can say this is the in charge of that of the limbic system. So this is the real brain, and that is the real mind. So what I'm trying to say is that there is a connection between amygdala and the brain, the forebrain, and there is a from this way and this way also. Once there is anger, the speed from this to this is faster, this to this is slow, right? So what happens? because we do something, we come into anger, but very shortly we feel, oh no, there was nothing to do, go for anger like this. What was there? See, that is the better brain when it comes. So because the speed of the connection is like that. So likewise, there are three things in which the human mind is having more speed. What are those three things? One is the status, the recognition, position. So that bypass, that is a higher system. Second is sex. Third is identity. These are the three things which rather moves much at a higher speed. So in the process of identity, so supremacy, this is what is all happening. You see, irrespective whether this is democracy, socialistic democracy, socialism, capitalism, dictatorship, or anything as far as the war is concerned, what is the cause of the war? Because I want to, this is jealousy. By virtue of as if there is some danger to my identity, as if there is some danger to my ego. There is no danger. It is only a false perception. So in case we are able to perceive that in the right perspective, that's what is important. In the right way, nowadays, everyone is for the sake of money. I must tell you, as far as the female is concerned, they were divided of all finances. It was only the first financial independence meeting for the female was organized in New York in something like 1625. So once there is an independence as far as the finance is concerned, so women are there in all walks of life throughout the world. Things are going from different ways. You can say that this is the developed world. You can say this is not. This is an individual perspective. But I'll say, even if we are going to take, do you think, because when I was born, I had 5 brothers, sisters. So my daughter is alone. So my daughter's son is again alone. So I was wondering at that time, we are having some sort of interconnectiveness, some sort of relationship, where the relation is going to be there. Where is aunt, where is auntie, where is brother, where is sister? So now everything is available as far as this phone is concerned. So this is brother, this is sister. So you can have your interaction with all these things. So that's why they are most of the time not to their real self. They are just concerned about their garnishing, about their looks, feels, then name and fame. And that's the thing which is creating problem. As far as the capitalism is concerned, again, this is hoarding. This is capitalism is not only in the process of this money. I'll say there is a capitalism as far as the emotions are concerned. There is a capitalism as far as the status is concerned. Again, this is some sort of hoarding, unnecessarily the hoarding. Why can't I see the other person is same or it's my mirror image? It depends upon my perspective. I am seeing that she's my sister. No, I'm seeing that Dr. Bansal is asking me a question. So the Dr. Bansal is answering to the Dr. Bansal because there is only one universal consciousness, only one. We are just the drop in the ocean. We create some waves. The waves depends when we throw a small pebble or a large pebble. The wave can be for 30 years, there can be 40 years, Earth years. You see, Earth years are so small, they hardly exist. So 70 years or 80 years in Saturn, this is not even 10 years. So this is so near to the Earth. You talk the galaxy years. You see, there are hundreds of thousands of years, Earth years away from our planet, and that forms only one galaxy day. In that way, as far as the time is concerned, if I'm going to talk about Albert Einstein, it's again a movement in space. That's what it is time. See, otherwise, as we say, the time has changed. In fact, the time has changed. I don't know, as far as the basics are concerned, the human values are concerned. Nowadays also, we are same as we were 100 years before, 200 years before, as far as our emotion is concerned, as far as our relationship is concerned, as far as our ego, identity is concerned, irrespective of real burgeoning acquisitions, as far as the telecommunication, as far as the medical therapy is concerned, immunity is concerned, what not. There were various type of, let's say, plague, there were type of other diseases. Now they are in different form, corona. So maybe some sort of natural calamities. Why they are all happening? So as far as the values are concerned, human values, their placement in own self or in the surroundings is little change here and there. But we have to have a large perspective. We have to have wide perspective. But at the same time, your point is very well taken, because at the end of the day, I'll be concerned after even giving a lecture. Yeah, please give me a glass of water, because they are the basic needs. We have to take that. But having too much, for example, my philosophy is, if I'm having 2 chapatis to eat and somebody else is sitting before me hungry. Who allows me to take two when he is hungry? There should be one-to-one. I mean, I may be wrong or right. This is, somebody can say he's a fool. Anyone can say anything, but I'm telling you, this is a individual self-made perspective, self-made happiness, self-made total submission, total divinity. This is, I know where I am. But as far as the word code is concerned, those persons, those countries who are sitting on the helm of affairs, they are, I'll say, abusing the so-called human rights. I always say that. So you see, why capitalism? I will adore people like Steve Jobs. He did it. He gave it to everyone, not some other person who will be a capitalist, real good capitalist, and he gives money in the name of philanthropy just to say that their taxes. So what I'm saying, this is an individual world. Let them do it in the way they do it. Let them take a big amount of chunk of money as and when they leave this world. No one can take it. Not even their identity. I was writing a chapter in the Bible of Neurology, which runs in 70 volumes. And I gave 250 references over there. The person who identified the disease name, his reference was overwritten. He was a Nobel Prize winner. So why? I asked the editor. He said that your 270 references is going to take 2 pages. I don't have that much space. So I'm cutting it to 1/3. So all these waves, they don't go permanently. So they come and go. So let's enjoy the flow.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're not enjoying the flow, are they? There's many of us living on this planet.
So there is a problem.
Are not enjoying. They're living a hard life, and the natural world is, we're destroying the natural world, and we talk about Mother Earth.
Great. We must live with the nature. We must enjoy the leaf. I keep on watching the sky in the morning this walk. So I keep on feeling the leaves. They're dancing with the flow of the air. So why not? But that your point is well taken. As I said it, most of the time we are in the physical, commercial living rather than the real living. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bansal. We have one question that came from the YouTube channel. Yeah, please, from the floor. Yeah, please, go ahead.
First of all, I thank you for your all lecture. And Nahid Aslamvi.
Can you open your camera if possible?
Okay, one second, please. First of all, thank you for a great lecture over there. You put a very nice points, the raised questions also. Thank you, Rajiv. What I understood that when you're talking about the brain and the mind, you bring the personality, the topics you bring under it, the personality types, the one consciousness. You talk about the actualizations and whatever the emotions we are bringing in between. And so when I was listening it, the things comes into my mind that I read there is a hadith. You know hadith? What is hadith? The stories and the things said by the Prophet Muhammad.
Okay.
So there is the first hadith in the book of the volume of the book. There are many. The first number 1 hadith, which is written over there.
Okay.
It is said that innama amala biniyat. It means the decisions, the things will come according to your niyat. Niyat means according to your thoughts.
Right.
Means whatever you do, the results will come according to your thoughts. So when I was talking about the consciousness, mind, reading, our brain and reading, so it is happened to all of us that there are 66,000 thoughts, as you said, in a day comes. Some of the thoughts which is stuck to our mind, they becomes the real. If we are, is it? Second, that like that we will make our emotions also. If we continue that thought for more than, I think, 10-12 minutes, as I heard you or someone else, I don't know, that emotions become stronger and we live in that perceptions. Like if we continue our anger for more than 12 minutes, I heard someone, a neuroscience person, then that emotions will continue for more hours or maybe many days.
True.
You, in the same way, you talk about the consciousness. The things are coming reminding to me because I also read the books sometimes, and not like Rajiv, he's a very academic person, and not like Mr. Nahid Aslamji or you.
Brother, could you please just ask question? It will be good.
No, see, these mind brains are not related with the questions, Rajiv. Actually, what happened? It is the remarks which will come. The remarks comes after these lectures. The question and answers that can't come with these types of lectures.
Yeah.
So what I am relating to him, that when he says there's a consciousness, about one consciousness in the whole world, and our own consciousness is just a drop in the sea, is it? The same momentum, same compound. So these things are reminding me, which I read it in the first, in the second chapter of the Quran.
Right.
Like you said, you read in the Bhagavad Gita and this, and where the in the chapter, the second chapter, if you read, and Dr. Bansal, you will find that over there, when the gods say, when made the Adam, the first
Right.
man, and the other uh, things, other creatures like the angels and the jinn, they said the why you have created it. At that time, the God said that we are creating the Adam to rule the world and rule the making him big. You don't know, understand.
Mhm.
So when the Adam comes in the light, he asked to the angels that tell me his name. They can't say anything. But the Adam said he taught the Adam everything. Means that consciousness. Now I'm coming that word. It
Mhm.
is says that I taught. God says that I taught the Adam everything, every knowledge to him inside his brain. Now he told everything to the angels. Now the angels says, yes, we don't know what you know. Now that first pair of the man, according to the philosophy of the religion, that Adam and Eve when started and the generation started coming. So in whatever field the human being put their step forward and they started research in it, they are excelling in that particular field according to that particular conscious, which was coming from the root of their first man.
Right.
So I totally agree with you with this concept of coming of the consciousness, which we can take it in that particular sciences, neurosciences, because it is a science, that is a religion text. But when we compare and we understand, then we come to know that what are the meanings of the things. So thank you, Dr. Bansal. In this, I would like to ask you that how a person can uh, uh, control his thoughts, because there are many unrealistic thoughts also come. It is natural. So how to control them to push him to the correct real thoughts to achieve his uh, whatever field he is excelling.
Right. Right,
Please
Dr.
go on.
Khan, it's a very juicy sort of conversation I had from you. See, one thing is I like to put it into three different ways, three questions. One is thought, second is feeling, and third is as far as the consciousness is concerned, I submit, I totally, fully agree with you, whatsoever you said. We are all nothing but the part of the Almighty. we can give the name. The universal consciousness may be Allah. Universal consciousness may be Buddha. Universal consciousness may be Jesus Christ. So it all depends upon individual's perspective, but it is universal consciousness. But as the thought, emotions, and how to make the negative to the positive thoughts. You see, first of all, it has been seen now that neurons, the brain cells, they can be cultured. This has been recently cultured, and I cannot show the video, but because in the process of writing the book. So, but I can tell you, you see, now I have to go more in detail of as far as the neurons are concerned. So there are neurons, there are astroglias, there are fibrous astroglias, there are plasmic astroglias, there are immune cells inside that. Each neuron, working neuron, the brain cell, the real brain cell, is having dendrites, or the connections, or the synapses, wherein there is a different type of hormones which is generated. So what has been seen in that neuronal culture, that each neuron is, they are just running to find connection with each other. I mean, there is a, but why this is there? I say ultimately cause of the cause of the cause of the cause is the elements. Apart from consciousness, we say that there are 52 elements. They form all the chemistry, biochemistry, other chemistry, physics, start from that and all those things. So there is a characteristics of elements. So I'll say water is wet. So you have to agree with me. Irrespective of wherever you are sitting, is with sort of philosophy or the education, you cannot say the water is dry, because this is the characteristics of the water. So there is a characteristics of that of the biochemistry also, the elements also. So the elements are having its own. So likewise, I'll say the universe or the multiverse or the consciousness is having its own attributes, its own characters, its own forms. They are perceived in our own perspective way. But all said and done, ultimately, we agree to this philosophy that this is the total universal phenomenon. As far as the thoughts are concerned, 2000 thoughts, yes. I thought of who told Francis Newton that there is going to be something like gravity. That may be truth as far as some planets are concerned. That may not be truth as far as the galaxy ways are concerned. But at the same time, I was thinking about Archimedes also. So the Archimedes, who told him that there is some space which is occupied by the vessel and the vessel will start floating on the water. So why these sort of brains? There is a collision. So there are different type of thoughts which are coming. What generates the thoughts? One, this is one of the inherent property of that of the neurons. They talk with each other. They create some sort of neurohormones. They create each neurohormones, which is hundreds of thousands, is having some positivity, some negativity. They are having either inhibitory or they are facilitatory, or they are 2 minus 1 plus or 2 plus 1 minus. So there are various type of combination permutation. So by virtue of that, there are different type of electrical activities which comes out. This is basically the electrical thoughts are basically the electrical activity. So this electrical activity, I am talking to you, I am passing that electricity to you, because at the same time you are also thinking, you are also conceptualizing, you are also digging out meaning out of this. So this is what the thoughts are. So once there are 2000 thoughts, I must tell you, the thoughts within 3 milliseconds, in case a thought which are a chemical reaction at the neuronal level remains for 3 seconds, it becomes an action. Action may not be only the physical action. They may be a mental action. The mental action means, yeah, I like this. I don't like this. I like to kill that person. Yeah, I want to have this dish. I will go to that particular restaurant. This film is very good. This is not done. See, all these things is thoughts. But you see, as far as the 2000 thoughts is concerned, there are only few thoughts which are automatic. Well, this is all automatic. We get up in the morning. We know that we have to go to the nature's call. We have to brush our teeth. We have to take a cup of tea, morning tea. So for that is just passed to our subconscious mind, absent-mindedness. Then there comes some planning of that particular day, those thoughts, event related. And I must tell you, most of the thoughts, they are put into the brain in the shape of symbols rather than words. You know, suppose if I'm telling you, bring me a chair, because there is a symbol as far as that chair is concerned inside the brain. And because the speech is from the thoughts only. But the speech and communication and these thoughts, they are in the shape stored in the brain and in the shape of symbols, less in the shape of speech. Because in case I tell you, okay, bring me something to sit, this should have 4 legs and then one back support, and on the side also there is support, it should be cushioned. So it means I'm describing the characteristic of that of the chair. So likewise, this is the natural characteristic of that of the neuronal activity as far as the thoughts are concerned. There are good number of thoughts are waste thoughts, real good number of, and these are the waste thoughts which are cleared. This is all junk. This is cleared during our sleep. The sleep is having different stages. This is having REM stage and NREM stage. REM, rapid eye movement stage, and NREM, non-rapid eye movement stage. During this NREM, there is a washing out of all the sludge, wasted thoughts. All those thoughts, mostly thoughts and emotions, they are glued together. They go hand in hand. Whenever there is an emotion or feelings, there are thoughts. So they are wrapped, as I said, they are wrapped in the orientation also. Time, place, person makes a difference. Why not? You see, and even our own experience, our own aging, the definition of love, which was there at 12 years of age, 14, 16, 20, 30, 50 years of age, continues be different. By virtue of the experience, vertical experience, horizontal experience, fluid intelligence, and different type of other things, other factors. So likewise, there are thoughts which are useful, which prioritize the thing. There are certain which is unwanted thoughts, because those persons who are racing of thoughts, flooding of thoughts, unwanted thoughts, they know it, they are fully aware of it. There is a total insight that these are the thoughts which is not required, but still they come in. Why? Because they are event related thoughts, they are emotion related thoughts. Suppose somebody is having poor emotional intelligence, so that person is having love, the other party is not interested. So that person is just this cribbing and just cooking so many new thoughts. I will do this, I will do this, I will do this, and then that comes into the loop. So there is thought after thought after thought after thought. So that gets into, depending upon the situation, the type of thoughts, whether you're going toward the positivity or whether you're going toward the negativity. So in the negative thoughts, how we should check it? Dr. Khan asked, this is a very good question. So one of the most important thing is we should trace our thoughts. Right now, I'll give you an example. A person went to the market to bring something. When he comes out of the house, he suddenly sees a dog is crushed by a speedy vehicle. So he was going to the market to bring something, but he sees the accident. And after seeing the dog, he immediately correlate, because now he's following his thoughts. Most of the time, our thoughts follow our thoughts. So he's going that his friend is having a lovely dog like this, and his friend has a decent accident. So he had a lot of problem as far as the finance is concerned. There was somebody who ditched him or her. You see, the point is we are going from one to the another, to the another, to the another, to the another thoughts. One to the another, to the another, emotions related with the thoughts. Because when the dog was killed, he felt bad. He forgot to go to the market, and he was involved totally in a different way. So that's what the thoughts and emotions they do. So can we check the negative thoughts? Yes, we can check it. So we should try to trace our thoughts. So are we going in the right perspective? See, I will like to see when I go to my alma mater in the schooling or school boys. So I like to remember certain boys by virtue of some sort of emotional incident, accidents, or this happened. I like to know about my teacher. Remember that teacher who slapped me. He punished me, gave me some sort of capital punishment. So in that way, the thoughts start generating thoughts, emotion thoughts. So this mixture keeps on coming. So we should, to check the negative thought, we should follow those thoughts. 1, 2, we should change the space. Wherever we are sitting, we should change the space. We can, we should try to divert our mind. Now, diversion can be in many ways. We can change the room. We can have a shower. We can have a sting over here, and some sort of keep on punishing to a little extent. You see, there are certain religions, they punish themselves just to have better attention concentration, so that their focus becomes more, their approach becomes better. So does it? Maybe, because there are various ways the things are being accepted and practiced. It doesn't mean that we can overrule any of them. All of them, they are good. Everything is having pros and cons. We have to be more concerned about the pros. So as Madam said, as far as the capitalism is concerned, so we should be more concerned about those persons who are below poverty line. They may be capitalist, but the person who is not able to eat, he's squeezing, he's eating his own self. how the hell he came on this planet and he dared to do all these things at the cost of the another human being, at the cost of the other living animals, on the cost of the nature, the mother nature, rather to decorating it, polluting, diluting, and making the fun of it. People do it. The nations do it, and so many other people do it. So in that way, the negativism can be by virtue of diversion of mind, following your new thing. Then there are certain things, other things also, breathing exercises. So the breathing, holding the breath, I will say that this is one of the best way, quick way, and one can do it anywhere. For example, if I'm to start this seminar, maybe there's some sort of anxiety. Why anxiety? Self-love. Why self-love? Fear. To garnish my ego, identity. So why should I have identity? In case I don't have identity, I see myself in you, and everyone. Then where is the fear? Because I'm part of you. The acceptability. So in that way, the negativism can be converted into positivism. So in that way, you take, I'm not saying the resilience is good, flexibility is good, but at the same time, you have to, everyone, all of us, we have to know our worth. As I said, the pigeon cannot fly at the height of the eagle. That's a natural thing. That's a natural property. The water cannot be oil. The oil cannot become a solid thing. They are all comprising of atoms. At the end of the day, in case we are going to go deep into the philosophy, I will say all of us, we are atoms. You are also atom. Everything is atom. Everything being developed is atom. Every component is atom. Speech is atom. The word comprehension of the word is atom. You see, the word meaning lies in not synonymity. This is because there is a diversity. There is a meaning of the word. If there is a day and there is no night, there is no day. If there is a good and there is no evil, there is no good. So likewise, so we have to understand the meaning of the word, the meaning of the thoughts, meaning of the emotion, and proceed ahead, right? So in that way, so a little actualization, boundaries, flexibility, then diversion of mind, taking deep breaths, taking shower, leaving that particular space, and follow your thoughts, practice yoga, and practice some humanistic character, be a part of some group, follow rather than getting you into negative thought. Try to just say, okay, I'll say racing of thoughts. This is an everyday story as far as my patient is concerned. They all get ultimately into panic attacks. So you can always say, okay, just hold your thought, your breath. Stop it now. Stop it. You're going to stop it till I am going to say. You see, so many, it is all our own mind. It's a human made. Everything is all made up. I made my thoughts positive, negative, my ego, my identity, everything. I can change it. Then there are various other ways. As I am telling you, I have discussed in my book each and everything much in a better detail. So that's where we are. But his Khan point is very well taken. I also wanted to read some ABC of the religious book, but Quran Sharif. But then I knew that in Quran Sharif it is written that the God is having, the Allah is having so much knowledge that even if you are going to make this whole sea as ink, and if the whole, all these T's as pen, you cannot still write even few words about him. So there lies the greatness. We are the part of him. He is great.
Yes, Professor. It's like amazing discussion we are going. But I will have a quick few questions, and maybe then we can wind up our session for today, and we can also have further more sessions with you, because I don't want to, like, I want to have more discussion. Really, I'm very much interested now, very much, and I want to have more sessions with you actually. But what I was having questions. One of my friend in the who is watching a live YouTube asked me one question that I will ask, and I will also ask my questions. So my friend asked, what is the brain and mind according to the Veda? And also my questions will be, but I will include in that question that how a doctor from the science perspective it can be explained. And my questions will be that when you said, like, brain is like whether you use it or lose it. So now I'm a PhD student, and we always study and get tired, and we are not able to focus. In that sense, what should we do? Like, whether we should give a rest to the brain or it is cheating me. So this is the question.
Okay. Yeah, your first question. As far as the philosophy, as in the Veda, what you said, where we like, you see, Veda looks everything from a different perspective. See, I'm sorry, I'm nothing in favor or against, but I'd say that by default, all of us, we are having tubular vision. There are very few people who is having large, wide vision. If we are talking of the system, I will like to talk when the family system started, when the Stone Age started. Why can't we start from that area, or even before that? You see, as far as the machine, this printing machine came, this came only 642 years before. Before that, what was the way of communication? As far as the written communication is concerned, passing the history from one to the another. So there are definitely ifs and buts everywhere. As far as Veda is concerned, brain and mind, it's the same thing. In fact, this is all illusion. This has been recently proved by the 3 Nobel Prize winner physicists in December 2022. They have quoted Veda. You see, they talked of the phytons. I asked one of the PhD professor from the Punjab University, please tell me in which way the rays of the sun come to the earth, because they need to have the media. She was not able to answer that. I was talking of the ether, as far as the space, the vacant space is concerned. But now it has been proved, as far as the photons are concerned, they connect each other. They diversify even at a distance of the Milky Way, still they connect each other. And that's what is known as entangled photons. And they got the Nobel Prize, 3 physicists. I'm not talking of the normal physics, I'm talking of the quantum physics. You can talk of the metaphysics. So these entangled photons, they are responsible for some sort of connectivity and some sort of, by virtue of the process of fission and fusion. From one single electron, there can be the sun. And ultimately, sun is going to be squeezed to the one electron only. It's a matter of time. For you and me, maybe hundreds and thousands of years, maybe a big period, but not for the nature, Mother Nature. So that's what I'm saying. This all is illusion. We need to talk because we see it, we perceive it. I'm saying that this is the hand. But where is this hand after 20 years, 50 years, 100 years? 2 days before, only my grandson asked me, I told him I like to see you getting young and getting your desire fulfilled. And I hope to, because he's 14 years, and I hope to live for some more time. He said, you still have 10 to 15 years to live. I go, okay, that's his will. You see, we are nothing. We are illusion, right? And your second question was, what did you ask second?
Second question was the brain is like whether use it or lose it.
Yeah. So you see, there was a time when we were painting now also, as far as the Alzheimer's disease is concerned, because I don't want to go into more scientific detail, but because the senior persons are sitting over here, I like to tell you that the functional MRI has gone very, very ahead. We, during my postdoctoral time, used to cut the brain in those autopsies when there used to be tumor in the brain, when there used to be accident, whether there is some sort of pus over there, or whether there is some other infection of the brain, TB of the brain. So we used to cut it in this way, that way, to know the exact pathology, morbid anatomy, but structure, and under the microscope, electron microscope also. But now the things are totally different. That we cannot see the whole brain as far as the Alzheimer's disease is concerned, as far as the dementia is concerned, memory deficit is concerned. By virtue of the functional MRI, I recently attended World Federation of Neurology Kyoto meeting 2 years before. Over there, they showed functional MRI. They can see actually things in the whole of the brain. Where is the degeneration of the neurons, brain cells? Where is the deposition of the abnormal chemicals, amyloids? So they can actually quantify the things. They could even foresee that this person is developing dementia, or this person is not developing dementia. But believe me, so I always say that use it. Use it means you continue doing something. You see, I'm 74 years, still I'm doing active neurology. So I have reduced my working hours to 50%. But talking with the patient is good. It depends It depends on my perspective that I'm doing it for the sake of money or the sake of having maybe becoming party to it, as far as her agony is concerned. So I like to share my good words with them, listen to them. And a person who is coming to me at 80 years of age, I always ask, hello, so what you keep on doing? How do you pass your time? So the day is very long. So these things, so I would say the scrapbook and other things, they must keep on going to the market. They must keep on be with the newspaper. And I always tell, unfortunately, what happens that even the relatives in the old age, they come to the parents, they do not spend time. They can give money to them, but as far as the time is concerned, this is important thing. You should ask, you should make them sit along with you on your dining table. You see, the domiciliary care is very important, and there lies the use it. So keep on using it in different ways. So make them, don't be overprotective. No, you are my father, you are my sister, you are in old age, you served me, I will try to serve you. No. Make them independent, follow them, be on their back. So let them move independently, let them have a normal stance, normal gait. If they are trying to have imbalance, try to help them with various gadgets, means, and even your own sport. So mind use is very important. And what you said is a totally different thing. All of us, when we are alert, our alertness level, attention, concentration level varies. We are having capacity. Everything is having diagonal variation. Again, this lies in the reticular activating system in the upper part of the brainstem. So there is a diversity as far as the attention concentration is concerned, memory is concerned. Even the height is different in the morning and at night by half centimeter. So is our sleep pattern. So is our state of mind. So our thinking process, intellectual applications, and other things. So as far as that particular period when you are exhausted, the most of the time the exhaustion is by virtue of the emotions rather than the thoughts. So these are the emotions which can create some sort of, and at that is the time when you are going to talk to someone, no, I'm tired. My mood is not good. So I don't want to undertake any assignment. You can. It is again, this is your call, because you are emotionally fatigued. You are not really physically fatigued. You can have a bath. You can sit down. You can uptake the things again. No, so it all depends. So my habit used to be, when I was the medical graduate, I'm a gold medalist with 4 silver medals during my medical graduation. So my take used to be, I used to read, my perspective is not 50% pass percentage as far as the medical graduation is concerned. Does it mean that 50% who is not able to, there is 100 patients and you guarantee, are you certified that the 50 you make them right and 50 you are authorized to kill them? No. So I believe in percentile system. Percentile system means whichever is the requirement, if the requirement of the 50%, upper 50 best should be taken. So I will say that philosophy, but for that, again, I will say it's an emotional fatigue. One must know about the emotional maturation, emotional intelligence. These are the things which are nicely explained. This should be done. This can be done. This can be developed. Even our closed mindset can be changed. Our closed perspective of anything can be also changed in the positive way, to subjective positive way, one's own positive way. Because all these things, in the way you told me, a concept told me, or madam told me, you see, I'm talking to you, but at the same time, you are also talking to your own self. Are not you talking? So that's why you're comprehending, and there are questions which is arising out of that.
It's amazing discussion, Doctor, and I'm really pleased with the discussion and want to have more discussions. Actually, I want to invite you more and have more discussion on this topic. It's a very engaging topic and very much needed, because society is becoming more complex and we need this kind of, to overcome the anxieties, because in Turkey especially, more psychologists are increasing. So why there is a problem in the society, that means. But we will be winding up our session for today, saying that the last point that you mentioned very nicely mentioned that that we all are me and you are not separate, so if there is a pain in someone, it means pain is in me. So if there is someone has a pleasure, it should be shared, or someone has a pain, it should be shared, because that's how we should show compassion. And in Quran also, because Quran starts with the Bismillahir Rahman Rahim. So Allah is the compassionate, but through action, he become the most compassionate because he shows. So that's why we should show the compassion. And we will like to wind up our session. I really thank you for this wonderful talk. And we would like to see you again. Thank you very much, doctor. And I would like to meet you also, like when I come to India.
Good health. All the best wishes to everyone. Thank you.
I would like to also meet you, like once I come to India, like so.
Thanks. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, and thank you very much, everyone, for joining this webinar. And see you again. Thank you.